Gridiron Central is sponsored by Georgia Northwestern Technical College, Riverside Automotive Group.
Welcome to the Gridiron Central Preview Show. I'm your host, Jim Allred. I don't have Matt Davis with me this week. He's playing hooky this week. He had a vacation in Washington, D.C. Can't blame him. Got to be a great place. He'll be back with us for the preview show next week. Today, it's all about me, and guess what? It's also all about the playoffs. As of this moment, the reason I mention that is because things might change in the single A brackets. 14 local schools have reached the playoffs. Of course, one of those was Unity Christian, who reached the ICSGA playoffs a couple of weeks ago, lost in the first round. The other 13 are our local GHSA teams. The one caveat there, 3 of those teams, Tryon, Gordon Lee, and Darlington, the single A brackets are still being questioned at this moment. They won't be official until later today, Wednesday. Check out ghsa.net where they will have the official brackets. I will mention those teams at the end of the game. They don't play their first round games in single A public or private school brackets until Friday, November 23rd. For all of our other local teams, the playoffs are here. They start Friday. We start with Class AA Wesleyan at Calhoun. The Yellow Jackets 10-0 in the season. Their last loss, the last time they actually lost a game, was to Buford in the 2010 Class AA Finals. They are currently on a 25-game winning streak. They have a 14-game home playoff winning streak. They're putting that on the line against Wesleyan. Wesleyan 4-6 this year. Last made the playoffs in 2010, advanced to the Class A semifinals before losing to Savannah Christian. For Calhoun, big wins this year. You probably already know it. You can sing along with me. Dalton, Carrollton, and Ridgeland. Of course, Carrollton and Ridgeland, all 3 of those teams in the state playoffs. Carrollton and Ridgeland are both ranked in Class 4A. They also beat Model Coosa Pepperell, who are also in the AA playoffs. Of course, they beat everybody on their schedule. Calhoun keeps on winning. The winner of this game is going to play the winner of the Manchester-Greene County game. AJC.com has been running Maxwell projections as to which teams and which classifications have the best chance to not only reach the semifinals, but also reach the state finals. In AA, the odds-on favorite to reach the semifinals, Calhoun. The odds-on favorite to be AA state champs, guess what? It's also Calhoun. We'll see. Calhoun's going to have a tougher road in the third round, of course. I've mentioned this several times. They will, if they advance that far, more than likely it's Brooks County. We'll talk about that game in a couple of weeks when it actually happens this week. Calhoun, they're going to beat Wesleyan. I don't know if we'll be running clock in the second half, but I believe the Yellow Jackets defense has improved throughout the year. The offense is also very good. Calhoun's going to win this game. They'll move to the second round. Westminster at Pepperell. Westminster is 4-6 on the year, but do not let their record deceive you. Some of their losses are to Blessed Trinity, St. Pius, Woodward, Thompson, GAC, and Lovett. All of those teams state ranked. All those teams are in the playoffs. Most of those teams are state ranked. So 6 losses, those are not bad losses. Last year, Westminster lost in the second round of the AA playoffs. Pepperell 6-4. The last time the Dragons won a playoff game was in 2008 when the Dragons advanced to the Class AA quarterfinals. The winner of this game will play the winner of the Jefferson-Kendrick game. Pepperell has lost 3 straight first round playoff games, including at home last year to Elbert County. The key for me right now with Pepperell is I think Pepperell's gotten better as the season's gone on. The biggest thing I see with Pepperell is, and I hate to say it's fan base, but I remember last year in the game against Elbert County, going to the game, Elbert County stands were jammed. I looked at Pepperell stands, they weren't. Now, there were a lot of fans on the fence and all that, along the fence, but usually at a Pepperell game, when the fans turn out, the stands are jammed. They're all along the fence. They can get loud. If Pepperell can get that kind of crowd support, I think this Pepperell team can win this game. I think they're good enough to win this game. Are they good enough to make a run at the state title? Probably not, just because their bracket also includes 3 state-ranked teams. But I think this is a Pepperell team that, if everything sits in their favor, could possibly win a game or 2 in the playoffs for the first time since 2008. I'm going to predict Pepperell to win this game. A lot of people think Westminster's going to. I think the Dragons will get a win. If the fans show out, I definitely think Dragons will get a win. I'm going to say Pepperell gets a win. They advance to the second round of the playoffs since 2008. Model at Greater Atlanta Christian. Of course, Model is one of the feel-good stories of the year. Model finished 6-4. Model's last playoff appearance came in 2003. And just as a curiosity, I was wondering, when's the last time Model actually won a playoff game? That was 1978. Crazily enough, that was the year Model actually won a state title. Actually, I believe that was 79 now, because 78 East Rome won. But anyway, that is an awful long time to go without winning a playoff game. Also, the Blue Devils at 6-4, whether they win or lose this game, are guaranteed of only their second winning season in the last 30 years. The last winning season, 1999, team finished 6-4. Shout out to my former track coach, Danny Wiseman, who was the head coach, football coach at Model at that time. Greater Atlanta Christian, on the other hand, they are 7-3 on the season. Losses to Thompson, Chamblee, and Lovett, all good teams. Last playoff appearance for GAC was in 2010 when they lost in the second round. The winner of this game is going to play the winner of the Heard County-Rabun County game. Model, great story. They've improved all year long. This is a very good Model team. Unfortunately, I think Greater Atlanta Christian is going to be better. Talking to Model coach Gordon Powers after their win last week against Dade County, which assured them of the number 3 seed in the playoffs, he said, look, these kids believe they can win. That's a huge and a great first step. I think Model's defense is good. Model's offense is good. This is one of the best Model teams I've seen since I've been here. I'm not so sure it's good enough to get the job done. Greater Atlanta Christian is a tough task. I say Greater Atlanta Christian wins, but it would not surprise me one bit if this game was close in the fourth quarter. One more game in AA to talk about. That is the Coosa Eagles traveling to play Lovett. Coosa on the season 4-6. This is their first playoff appearance since 2008. Their last playoff win came back in 2003 when Coosa advanced to the AA quarterfinals. Lovett, 6-4 on the season. Again, another team, the record, you cannot go by the record because of losses to Marist, St. Pius, Fort Payne, Alabama, and Washington County. I believe all of these teams are ranked in the state in their classifications and in their states. I believe they're also all in the playoffs. So all 4 of those losses were to very, very good football teams. Last year, Lovett lost to Carver Columbus in the AA first round. Winner of this game will play the winner of the Manchester-Greene County game. For Coosa, at the midpoint of the season, they were 0-5. They win 4 games over their last 5. Great second half of the season for the Eagles, who are a very, very young team. A lot of positives here. Making the playoffs, huge positive. Winning those 4 games, huge positive. I'm afraid all of this ends now. Go in the playoffs, get that experience. Lovett's going to win the game, but kudos to Coosa, their coaching staff, and their kids for reaching the playoffs for the first time since, 2008? Good thing for them. Young team, they'll be back next year. Maybe they could even compete for the number 2 or number 3 spot in 7AA next year. Those are our AA teams in the playoffs. We're now going to talk about our lone Class 5A team. Of course, we only have one Class 5A team in our coverage area. That is Rome High School. The Wolves at 8-2 on the season are going to travel to Gainesville. Rome, 2 losses, East Paulding and Allatoona. Both of those teams are in the playoffs. One of them is ranked. Both of them have been ranked most of the year. Gainesville, their losses are to West Forsyth, Loganville, and Flowery Branch. Again, fairly good competition there. I've been saying all year that I really felt like Rome was going to be a team that was going to be one and done in the playoffs. And while I'm not going to change that prediction at this moment, when I look at Gainesville, the thing that stands out for me with Gainesville is in 6 of their games this season, Gainesville has allowed their opponents to score 20 or more points. I'm not saying Gainesville's defense is soft by any stretch of the imagination, but Gainesville has a defense that I believe that Rome can score on. If Rome can get a couple of special teams touchdowns, if Rome can get a couple of key offensive touchdowns, I think Rome's going to be able to score some points on Gainesville. Are they going to be able to beat the Red Elephants? I don't believe so. I think the Red Elephants at home, their offense is too good. Rome's defense has not been a typical Rome defense. They're allowing almost double to triple the amount of points that they normally allow this time of year. I say Gainesville's going to win, but it would not surprise me in the fourth quarter to find out that it was a close game. If Rome can score on Gainesville's defense, we could be in a track meet, and I like Rome's chances in a track meet because they have the athletes, they have the horses. The question is, at the end of the day, is can their defense hold Gainesville down? I think it's going to come down to a solid no. I say Gainesville wins the game, but Rome at 8-2 makes the playoffs. The last time Rome won a playoff game was in 2008. Of course, everybody remembers they made the Class 4A state semis that year, got jobbed by the officials in the Marist game, or else they would have played Tucker for the state championship. Gainesville lost in the AAA semifinals last year in 2011. They were a AAA team last year. The winner of this game plays the winner of the Kell Southwest DeKalb game next week. I predict Gainesville goes on, but again, Rome has a chance in this game. The question is, can they do it? I don't know. We'll have to see Friday night. Speaking of that, we have a bunch of games left to talk about. We're going to take a commercial break right now. Stick around. We'll talk about Class 3A and our Class 4A teams.
Begin your future at Georgia Northwestern Technical College. We offer degrees, diplomas, and certificates in over 200 programs of study. Choose a career in business, health, industrial, or public service. With the flexibility of day, evening, and online classes at any of our 5 campus locations, getting your education at GNTC has never been more convenient. There are many financial aid options available, including student loans. Apply now. Georgia Northwestern Technical College. Your college, your town, your future.
Welcome back to the show. We always like to thank our sponsors, Georgia Northwestern Technical College and Riverside Automotive Group, for helping bring this show to you. Now moving on to Class AAA, we start as Hart County travels to play Adairsville. Remember, Adairsville upset Gordon Central a couple of weeks ago to earn the number 2 seed out of their region. Adairsville 7-3 on the season. In the early season loss to Cass, losses to LFO and Cartersville. This is their first home playoff game since 2002. Of course, last year, Adairsville advanced to the Class AA second round of the playoffs. Hart County is 5-5 on the season with losses to Cedar Shoals, Blessed Trinity, Stevens County, Morgan County, and North Oconee. Hart County last made the playoffs in 2010 when they lost to Buford in the Class AA first round. This is an interesting matchup for me because this is a game on paper that Adairsville should probably win. I still have questions about Adairsville's defense. No questions about Adairsville's offense. Adairsville's going to be able to score points. Even if they get in a track meet with Hart County, I still think Adairsville can probably win this game. If Hart County can shut down Adairsville's offense, obviously Adairsville's in serious trouble, but so would any team be in that situation. I'm going to go with the Tigers to win this game. They are a young team. They've gotten progressively better over the year as the year has gone on. And something special about this Adairsville team, and you start looking at this Adairsville program, a few years ago they were kind of down, a lot of people down on that program. They have really turned things around. If they can get a playoff win this week, then they will join a group of only 4 local teams that have been able to win playoff games, more than one playoff game over multiple seasons. That would be Ridgeland, Darlington, and Calhoun are in the select group that are in that group right now. If Adairsville wins this game, they will join that group. And of course, this is a very young Adairsville team. Watch for good things for them to come. I project they win this game. I don't know if I'm going out on a limb there, but I think Adairsville wins next week. If Adairsville wins, well, whoever the winner of this game will play the winner of the St. Pius and Dawson County game. Obviously, St. Pius is a very good team. They are ranked, give me half a second, I'm sorry, they were ranked 7th in the state. Very good team. But again, I think Adairsville is going to win this one and will get a chance to travel to St. Pius next week. Gordon Central at Morgan County. Of course, Gordon Central losing to Adairsville late in the season cost them the number 2 spot and the chance to host their first ever home state playoff game on the road at Morgan County. Gordon Central 8-2, losses to Cartersville and Adairsville. Last year, Gordon Central lost in the Class AA playoff first round. Last playoff win for them came back in 1995. Morgan County 8-2 on the season, losses to North Oconee and Elbert County. Last year, lost in first round of the Class AA playoffs. One key thing here is we don't know how good Morgan County is. Yes, they went 8-2, but only 3 of the teams that Morgan County played actually had winning records. That being said, Gordon Central opened the season against 3 teams that I'm not so sure won a game all season long. So give that, take that. The one problem, Gordon Central only played 4 teams with winning records over the season. The one problem I have with Gordon Central is they haven't been able to get it done. They had to beat Cartersville to win the region title. They didn't do that. They had to beat Adairsville to grab the number 2 seed. They didn't do that. They've been in a couple of close games. Late in the season, they didn't win either one of them. Gordon Central needs to win this game. I mean, getting to the playoffs last year was great. They got manhandled in that game. Gordon Central's offense is good enough. Gordon Central's defense is good enough. I think the Warriors are going to get a win here. I just really do. I don't think they're going to be a one-and-done team. Winner of this game plays the winner of the North Hall-Woodward game. And, Gordon Central, great offense. Defense is better than it normally is. 8-2 record, one of the best records they've had in a long time. I say they get that playoff win. Gordon Central wins, goes to the second round of the AAA state playoffs. Ringgold at North Oconee. Ringgold 6-4 on the season. They are your number 4 seed out of the region. They have losses to Dalton, Gordon Central, Adairsville, and Cartersville, all teams who are in the playoffs. Last playoff appearance for Ringgold was in 2009. They lost in the first round of the AAA playoffs. North Oconee losses to St. Pius. Lost to St. Pius last year in the second round of the Class AA playoffs. North Oconee is, looks to be a pretty good little team when you think about it. Sorry, let me look at them real fast. I should have written this one down. North Oconee is ranked 8th in the state, kind of heavily favored to win this game. Good news for Ringgold is you made the playoffs. The bad news is you're probably going to lose to North Oconee. I do believe North Oconee wins this game. I believe Ringgold takes a lot of experience from making the playoffs, and that will help them next year in the regular season. Winner of this game plays the winner of the Buford-Cedar Grove game. Good luck with that one. Buford, not as good as usual, but still a pretty darn good team. I predict that Ringgold does lose this game, however. One last AAA game to talk about, that is Rockmart traveling to play at Appling County. Rockmart 5-5 on the season. Last playoff appearance was a first-round loss to Callaway in the 2010 AA playoffs. Last playoff win came in 1987 when Rockmart advanced to Class AA semifinals. It's been just a few days since then. I was a freshman at East Rome High School when Rockmart made that run. Appling County on the season, 8-1-1, lost to Pierce County, had the tie with Wayne County. Last year, Appling County, folks will remember locally, lost in the Class AA semis to Calhoun at Calhoun. Again, we've talked about Rockmart all year. When I saw Rockmart's region schedule, I really felt like Rockmart should be a playoff team. If not for the overtime loss to Haralson County, Rockmart would be hosting a playoff game this week. They're not. They have to travel to Appling County. That is a very, very long trip. I do not like the matchups in this. Appling County is going to be just as athletic, if not more so, than Rockmart. Appling County has playoff experience. Appling County has a better record. Appling County is going to win this game. Rockmart goes one and done. Winner of this game plays the winner of the Carver-Columbus-Dodge County game. Of course, Carver-Columbus, always a good team. This year they're ranked number 2 in AAA. That is going to be a war. So even if Rockmart manages somehow to get past Appling County, good luck with that next game. That's our AAA teams. Like I said, I think we'll go 2-2 with those guys. I've predicted Adairsville and Gordon Central to win and Ringgold and Rockmart to lose. Class 4A, we have one team in Class 4A, and this might be one of the more interesting stories because a lot of people around the state are projecting that Ridgeland is one of the dark horse candidates in Class 4A. I have read time and time again over the last 3 or 4 days that people like Ridgeland. They think Ridgeland got a good draw, and they think the Panthers could be good enough to get to the Class 4A semifinals, if not to the Class 4A finals in the Georgia Dome. That would be a phenomenal story if that were to happen this week. Ridgeland hosts Washington out of Atlanta. Ridgeland 9-1 on the season. Of course, we all know the only loss came to Calhoun. Calhoun had to score a touchdown with hardly any time left on the clock to win that game. Ridgeland, good offensively, good defensively, ran roughshod through the region. Washington is 8-2, only losses to Grady and Carver Atlanta, 2 fairly good teams. Last year, Ridgeland advanced to the second round of the AAA playoffs, losing to Peach County. Washington's last playoff appearance was in 2008. The winner of this game plays the winner of the Chestatee-LaGrange game. I like Ridgeland. The one problem I've had with Ridgeland over the past 4 or 5 years has been almost a lack of a killer instinct. They've had teams against the ropes and haven't been able to finish them off. I've been at 2 or 3 games that were just like that. Yeah, they won, but they could have won earlier and quicker. This Ridgeland team does not seem to be suffering from that. I don't like everybody jumping on the Ridgeland bandwagon because I remember several years ago, I think Pepperell and Calhoun got people jumping on their bandwagon and both teams went out in the second round. Of course, you got to go back to 2007 to find that for Calhoun going out in the second round. But, the brackets look good, but Ridgeland's got to take care of business. If they play up to their potential, we could be talking about Ridgeland making a run at the Class 4A semis possibly the finals. That would be a phenomenal story for Mark Mariakis and the Ridgeland community. We'll have to wait and see. They get a first-round win. They could be the story of the playoffs this year. Now, I mentioned in Class A, the playoff brackets are not set as of yet. However, the preliminary final power rankings did come out yesterday on Tuesday. Today, Wednesday, later in the afternoon, we're supposed to find out the final brackets. This is a quick look at what they might look like if everything holds without any controversy. Of course, there's going to be a public school bracket and a private school bracket. We'll start with the public school bracket, where right now Gordon Lee is the number 14 seed in the bracket. They would have to play ECI in the first round. ECI in the all classification poll, in the all public and private poll combined, is ranked number 2. They are the top ranked public school team in that poll. They would have the number 3 seed. Gordon Lee would have to go to ECI. That would not be a good game. Of course, these games are not until Friday, November 23rd. We'll talk a lot more about these on our next preview show. Right now, Tryon would be the number 11 seed. They would have to travel to Marion County, the number 6 seed in the playoffs. Of course, the winner of the Tryon-Marion County game would play the winner of the ECI-Gordon Lee game. If both of our teams were to pull upsets, we'd have a Gordon Lee-Tryon rematch. If those brackets hold, I don't see that happening. We'll talk more about that next week. In the private school brackets, Darlington currently is the number 6 seed in the brackets. If everything holds, they would be playing host to George Walton Academy Friday, November 23rd. George Walton Academy is the 11th seed in the playoffs. The winner of that game, at this moment I would probably project Darlington, would play the winner of Walker and Athens Christian, which could be very interesting. Walker in the same region as Darlington. Walker, undefeated, won the region title, but never had to play Darlington. If Darlington beat George Walton Academy, they would probably get a game at Walker. They could end up beating the region champion and possibly end up reaching the semifinals. If that is the path, Darlington actually has a decent path to the semis. Of course, unfortunately, in the semis, right now, they end up playing the number 1 ranked team in all of Class A, Eagles Landing, if the brackets were to hold. Again, we'll talk a lot more about that at our next preview show. Join us Friday night. We will have scores from all 10 of our playoff games, highlights from 3 of the games, and of course come to Prep Central for live scores, stories, photos, everything going on. Our scoreboard show will break down who won, who lost, where they're going in the second round of the playoffs as well. For Kevin Myrick, Austin Wiggins, I'm Jim Allred saying we'll see you on the sidelines on Friday night.
Gridiron Central is sponsored by Georgia Northwestern Technical College, Riverside Automotive Group,